Take a deep breath in, and now, slowly, let it go. Let your eyes soften, your jaw relax, your shoulders fall gently away from your ears. And you are here, in this moment. Let the quiet settle in. You are safe now. You are warm. There is nothing more to do. Nowhere else to be. Only stillness, just for you. Only peace, Feel the air around you, just the way it moves. As if even the wind itself has slowed, Let it wrap you in calm, Like a soft cloak pulled over your shoulders. Down, Toward rest. And if you'd like, you can imagine the gentle crackle of a distant hearth, The faint scent of herbs hanging from wooden beams. Let your breath be your guide, and the cool hush of ancient stone beneath your fingertips, in a time when candlelight was precious. Tonight, soft, steady, like a feather drifting down, our story begins. And now, the alchemist's feather. Our story sets sail, and the stars above were the truest maps. The air is cool and still, a time when whispered wisdom echoed in vaulted chambers. And a mind curious as the moon, and secrets hidden behind a faded iron door were brewed with care in earthen bowls. Far beneath the clamor of the waking world lives an alchemist. Below a cobbled street, in a quiet medieval town, even though his breath comes slow, we'll call him rests a small stone cellar. The door does not creak, it sighs, broken only by the occasional hush of pages turning on the white oak table before him. Beyond it, nor a charlatan. Thick walls hold centuries of silence, or the soft chime of a brass scale being balanced. Here, not a wizard, but a quiet soul with ink-stained fingers. His name is lost to time. But tonight, Fallon wears a robe of soft wool, the color of candle ash, tied loosely at the waist. His hands are steady. Everything he does is slow, careful, intentional. His workshop smells of lavender and melted beeswax, of crushed violet root and parchment warmed by flame. And there he lays a single feather, long, silvery, and still tipped with the soft down of a snowy owl. It is beautiful. It is rare, and Fallon treats it like a sacred thing. You see, in the old texts, he studies manuscripts, copied by moonlight and bound in silence. There is mention of something few believe today, that the quill of an owl, dipped in golden ink, can transcribe thoughts, not from the mind, but from the spirit. A feather like this, they say, can write dreams. Fallon leans in, close enough for his breath to stir the tip of the feather. He does not speak. There is no need to speak. Instead, he begins to stir his ink. A small clay pot, carved with tiny symbols of the sun and stars, sits in a warm sand bath. Inside, golden powder swirls with rainwater collected at dawn. Each stir is slow, smooth, as though even the spoon he uses has learned to rest. The ink does not slosh, it sighs, thick and glimmering, like molten morning light. Fallon dips the feather once, and lifts. A single drop clings to the tip, and falls. Plink, the sound is soft, like rain against a window in a dreaming house. Outside the cellar, the wind picks up, just enough to flutter the old herbs hanging near the ceiling. Sage, lavender, their scent soothing the space like a lullaby. Fallon begins to write, not on ordinary paper, but on vellum, smooth as river stone, stretched and dried in secret. The quill glides effortlessly. Each letter curves and curls with the grace of falling leaves, and though we cannot read the words, we can feel them. They are gentle words, words that hum like lullabies, that settled like dust in morning sunbeam. He lights, not spells, but stories of healing, of remembering who we are when the world forgets. And the owl feather, it shimmers faintly in the candlelight, not brightly, to feel like a dream remembered, just enough. They say owl feathers were once ground into potions by monks, seeking wisdom and silence. That, the presence of an owl, meant a secret was being kept. And here, in this cellar of shadows and golden ink, Thalin writes, not for fame, but for peace. For in a world full of questions, sometimes the most powerful magic is calm. Now, dear listener, feel your own breath, slow and easy, as if you're to sit by the flickering flame. The quill's soft scratches echo in your chest. The golden ink drips like warm rain across your shoulders. And your eyes grow heavy with the beauty of a feather and the stillness of secrets softly told. Your breath is like silk, barely a whisper in the stillness. Feel your limbs grow heavier, just like thick velvet curtains drawn slowly at dusk. And as your breath flows gently in and gently out, you return to that quiet place, beneath the world, beneath the noise, where only the scratch of a feather and the warmth of candlelight remain. Let the story carry you. The wind above the cellar sighs against the stones. Outside, in the hidden alleyway that leads to Thalin's door, snow has begun to fall. The soft kind that never touches the earth with sound. It collects on the window ledge like powdered sugar, melting slowly into silence. But down here, in the heart of the old alchemist's workshop, time slows. Thalin moves with deliberate grace. Every motion is soft, meaningful. His hand lifts, then dips the owl quill once more into the ink, the golden thread clinging like honey. He writes the symbol for remember, then stillness, then a spiral meant not for words, but for feeling. In medieval times, alchemists believed that symbols could hold energy, not just meaning. They weren't merely language. They were doorways. And in this quiet place, where only candlelight watches, Thalin believes that too. He smiles to himself, a slow smile, like mist curling at the corners of a field. He pauses to sip from a cup of chamomile and thyme, brewed gently on a hanging kettle by the fire. It tastes like sleep. Behind him, shelves bow slightly under the weight of glass vials. Rose-colored smoky green, deep cobalt blue. Some are empty. Some glow faintly from within. Some are sealed with wax in the quiet promise of dreams, not yet ready to be spoken. Nearby, a brass astrolabe catches the flicker of flame and sends glimmers across the stone wall, like constellations dancing. Thalin lifts his head. He listens, not for sound, but for rhythm. The rhythm of the world when it's quiet. The monks he once studied with believed silence was sacred. They believed every still moment was a doorway to something greater. And so, he listens. The crackle of the fire, the distant whistle of the kettle, the heartbeat of ink as it dries. He dips the quill once more and writes the name of the dreamer, your name. He writes it not to summon, but to invite, for he knows someone, somewhere, is ready for stillness, ready for rest, ready to remember that they are already whole. You might feel it now, like a soft tug beneath your ribs, as if the golden ink is being written across your own chest, an invisible script. You might feel the warmth of it, right there, just beneath your breath, like the sun on your skin through a stained glass window. That is the magic of the owl's feather. Not loud, not bright, but certain. Pause to 3 seconds now. The quill rests again in its velvet-lined box. Thalin seals the parchment with a single press of lavender wax, then sets it upon a shelf among many others. He does not know where it will go, but he knows it will be found. They always are. He reaches for a broom made of birch branches, sweeps the floor with lazy arcs, the bristles whispering across the stone in rhythm with his breath. In medieval lore, birch was said to purify, to brush away the old, to clear the space for dreaming. Each sweep of the broom is like a sweep of the mind, making room, making space, and all around him, the workshop exhales. The fire lowers, the shadows stretch and yawn. Thalen places the owl feather gently back into its carved cedar box, lined with velvet and cotton fluff from a split-open pod. The box smells of sandalwood and ink. He touches the lid before closing it. A silent "thank you to the feather" to the night itself. Outside, the snow continues to fall, not in clumps, but in single, delicate flakes, each one unique, each one brief, and in the cellar, the last candle flickers once, then goes still. Only the fire remains now, and the warmth of the golden ink, and the breath of a story well told, softly. Now, breathe in, as though you, too, have dipped your thoughts in golden ink, and breathe out, as though you've set them gently on a shelf, to rest. Let your body melt deeper, heavier as if you were tucked under many quilts. The old, kind hand stitched with symbols, each corner whispering, "You are safe. You are safe. You are safe." The alchemist's work is done for now, but the feather has one last task: to follow you into dreams. Not to write for you, but, with you, together, you will scribe the stories that live in quiet corners of your spirit, the ones that speak in softness and always end in peace. Let your body become lighter with every word. Let each syllable drift over you, like falling snow. Cool, calm, quiet. There is nowhere to go now. You are already where you need to be. Here, in the stillness, in the soft, and in the cellar of dreams, something stirs. Thalen, the alchemist, has finished his night's work. But something in the air tonight feels different. Not loud, not urgent, just gently new. The fire has dimmed to glowing embers. They crackle every so often, with that dry, perfect sound like tiny stars snapping into sleep. The cellar is darker now. Not frightening, no, but like being wrapped in midnight silk. Comforting, weightless. Thalen moves to the far corner of his cellar, where a worn leather satchel rests beneath a stack of forgotten scrolls. He pulls it forward, opens it, and from within, lifts something wrapped in deep blue velvet. He places it on the table, unrolling the cloth with slow, reverent hands. Inside is an object very old, very delicate, and very still. It is a second feather, smaller than the first, gray, tipped in pale gold. A feather from a barn owl, said by some to be messengers between waking and sleeping. It hasn't been used in many winters, but tonight, Thalen feels the quiet call of something wanting to be remembered. You see, in ancient writings far older than inked parchment, there are stories of feathers that could dream for the one who held them. Feathers that could catch a forgotten memory and return it to the dreamer, like a note tied to the leg of a night bird. Thalen holds the feather gently between his fingers. It is impossibly light, as if it isn't quite part of this world. He doesn't speak, but he closes his eyes and listens. Not with his ears, but with the part of him that still remembers starlight on snow. The cellar shifts, not physically, but in feeling. The temperature dips just slightly, the way it does before the first word of a story is spoken aloud. Thalen dips the barn owl feather into a different vial now. A dark one, with ink made not from gold, but from midnight berries, harvested under moonlight and boiled with sage. The ink is almost black, but when it catches the firelight, it shimmers with the softest plum, like the inside of a raven's wing. This ink is not for writing what already exists. It's for summoning what's been forgotten. He places a fresh sheet of vellum before him. Smooth, untouched, waiting. And then he begins. But this time, the writing is not guided by his own thoughts. It comes from somewhere else. Somewhere quiet, somewhere between breath and dream. The quill glides across the page without pause. The ink spills not in lines, but in currents, each stroke painting something ancient, yet familiar. Symbols. spirals, tiny starbursts, soft lines, like river paths, and in the center of the page, but not like the one he holds. This one is yours, and the moment it is drawn, you feel something stir beneath your chest, as though your own dreams have opened their windows, as though a forgotten part of you just remembered how to sing. The parchment hums faintly, a soft vibration, barely there, but enough to stir the dust motes floating above it, each one catching firelight like tiny lanterns. Fallon leans back. He does not touch the page again. He knows better. Some things must be left alone to bloom, and so he moves once more to the fire. The coals are low now, glowing in reds and oranges, colors made for dreams. He adds a small log, careful not to startle the peace. The flame rises slowly, as if yawning, and the room warms again. The barn owl feather is cleaned with water steeped in mint and moon, then laid gently beside its silver sibling, two feathers resting together, like wings folded at twilight. You see, in Fallon's world, everything has meaning, even the way objects sleep. He returns to his writing stool, not to write, but to simply sit, to breathe, to rest in the company of ancient things. He closes his eyes, and though the room is silent, it is not empty. There is presence here. There is warmth. There is the soft, steady hum of stillness being honored. Now, let yourself follow that quiet. Let your mind sink down, like a stone, into the deep, still water of rest. There is no need to think, no need to solve, only to feel the hush that follows when something beautiful has been made, and the world pauses to admire it. That's what you are now, a beautiful, sleeping thought, carried on a feather, held gently in the hands of a quiet, kind alchemist. The night has deepened. Outside, the snow lies thick along the rooftops, smoothing every edge, softening every sound. It is a world remade in stillness, and below, in the cellar, the quiet has settled like a lullaby. The fire has grown lazy. Its soft amber light stretches across the flagstone floor, flickering gently, like thoughts, just before sleep. Fallon sits, unmoving, not asleep, but somewhere in between, his eyes closed, his breath slow, as if he's listening to something beyond the walls of this place. And perhaps he is, for in this part of the night, just before dreams begin their journey, the veil between the seen and unseen grows thin. Whispers become clearer, memories find their way home. And that is when the stirring begins. From one of the parchment scrolls, a breeze, just a faint one, like someone exhaling in a distant room. The feather, still resting on the velvet cloth, shifts, not from wind, from presence. Fallon's eyes open. He does not startle. He simply nods. He knows this hour well. When the work of the day gives way to the wisdom of the night, he rises, bare feet touching the cool stone, and moves toward the scroll. This one is older than the rest, bound with twine, its edges frayed with age, its scent of cedar and charcoal rising faintly. As he lifts it, he unrolls it with care. The symbols inside are not entirely known to him. Some resemble stars, others, tree roots, and a few seem to shift slightly when not directly looked at. They are dream glyphs, used by ancient alchemists, who worked only at night, believing that sleep was not escape, but entry. Each glyph, when spoken aloud, was said to guide the mind through a memory it had forgotten, or perhaps one it hadn't yet made. Fallon chooses one, a spiral within a spiral, etched in faded indigo ink, its center glinting faintly with silver. He breathes in, and speaks the symbol's name so softly, even the fire seems to hold its breath. Alan. He whispers, a word not meant to be heard by many, only by those who are ready to remember gently. The room does not change, but you might feel it, just a little. A shift beneath your ribs, a pulling toward the soft, inner places, where quiet stories live. A warmth rises, not from the fire, but from the parchment, and the spiral Thalon spoke of, it now glows faintly, as if moonlight has soaked into the ink itself. He does not touch it. He only watches. You see, when an alchemist reads the spiral aloud, it does not answer him. It answers the one whose name was written earlier. Yours, somewhere inside you. Without effort, without sound, a door begins to open. It is small, hidden behind ivy and time, but it remembers you, and behind it waits a memory. Soft, familiar, not painful, just forgotten. A memory of safety, of warmth, of feathers drifting through firelight, and hands that write in gold, in Thalon's cellar. The spiral fades now. Its work is done. The owl feather lies still, but somehow its silence is richer. As though it is sung without sound, Thalon rolls the scroll back up, ties it gently with the same worn twine, and returns it to its place. He moves, not like a man, but like a thought. Quiet, complete. He walks to the far wall of the workshop, where a wooden ladder leans toward a lofted alcove, lit only by starlight filtering through a narrow window up there. Rests something different. Not parchment, not potion, but a book, bound in midnight blue leather, wrapped in soft linen, its edges stitched in silver thread. This is his dream ledger. A book, not for research, but for recording the dreams others have begun to remember. It's filled with soft pages, each one handwritten by candlelight, each entry a whisper from someone long asleep. Thalon opens the book to a fresh page, and there, with the golden quill now clean and waiting, he begins to write. But he does not write what he sees. He writes what you are dreaming, not with words, but with moments, the way you felt just now, as you drifted a little deeper. The image that flickered, of a candle reflected in ink, the sensation of floating down a spiral you'd never noticed inside your chest. He writes it all, and you, without needing to understand, feel seen, held, known, not in the noisy way of the waking world, but in the quiet way that sleep remembers, softly, slowly. Now, let yourself settle, just like the ink as it dries. You are part of the story now, part of the ledger, part of the hush. There is no need to move. The feather will drift for you. The alchemist will keep watch, and your only task is to rest. Close your eyes, if they aren't already. Feel the warm hush of the world as it softens around you. Inhale, slowly, like you're drawing in the scent of parchment and bees, as though blowing out a single flame. Exhale gently. You're safe, you're held, and the story is waiting. Up in the alcove, where Thalon keeps his dream ledger, the only light comes from a sliver of starlight, a single thread of silver slipping through the narrow window. It lays across the page like a blessing. Thalon is finished writing. He closes the leather-bound book with care, as if tucking a sleeping child beneath a warm quilt. Then, with the same deliberate quiet he brings to everything, he places it on the shelf beside a line of small stone figures. Each figure, no taller than a candle flame, is carved in the shape of an animal, a deer, a fox, a dormouse curled in sleep, and an owl wings folded close, its eyes carved wide and calm. These are dream guardians, from an old belief, how forgotten even in Thalon's time, that certain animals watched over dreams, keeping them safe from wandering too far. He touches the owl's head gently, and then descends the ladder, his feet barely whispering against each rung. The cellar is darker now. The fire's glow is low, spilling only across the table and part of the floor in long, flickering shapes. But it is not cold. No, it is the warmth of quiet things, the kind of warmth you feel when someone tucks the blanket just right, or brushes your forehead with the back of their hand. Thalon begins to tidy the workshop, not with haste, but with love. He places the inkpots back into their wooden slots, corking them tightly so they do not breathe too much while he sleeps. He folds the blue velvet cloth around the owl feathers, both the golden and the gray, and sets them in their drawer, resting atop a sachet of dried chamomile petals. Everything has its place, its rhythm, its rest. And so, too, does he walks to a small cot, tucked beside the fire, its mattress stuffed with wool and herbs, its cover made from an old robe passed down from his teacher before him. He sits, removes his boots, stretches his fingers slowly like petals unfolding at dawn. And then he lies back, one arm behind his head, the other resting softly across his chest, and he breathes the way you're breathing now. Slow, full, soft. The firelight flickers against the ceiling stones, casting shapes like moving clouds across ancient skies. Thalen watches them, and in time, he lets his eyes close. But the cellar does not sleep completely. Not yet, for something else is waking just beneath the old oak table. In the shadows between two shelves rests a small wooden box, no larger than a loaf of bread. You wouldn't notice it at first. Its wood is dark, its grain faint, but there it sits, patiently. Inside the box is a bundle of old notes, pages never read, never sent, written by those who dreamed, but never remembered. They are soft things, inks faded, edges worn, but they hold energy. Tonight, the box stirs slightly, not from touch, from recognition. For something about this night, about you, has awakened one of the dreams resting inside. The lid does not open. It simply hums a low vibration, barely more than a breath. The air grows even softer, even stiller, and the fire's glow seems to lean toward the box, as if curious. One page inside rises, trembling faintly, as though it remembers the hand that once wrote it. It is a child's handwriting, uncertain, hopeful. The note says, simply, "I dreamed of flying, and I didn't fall." Thalen does not move, but his breathing deepens, and a smile touches his lips. Even in sleep, the dreams find him, and through him, they find you. Softly. Now, let yourself float. Not up, not away. Just float inside, like the line of ink that lifts from the feather before it touches the page. Like the warmth of firelight as it drifts through the room. Like the feeling you get when you remember something that never happened, but still feels true. You are weightless. Now, the dream has opened its hands to hold you, and you have said yes. Somewhere in the dark, an owl stirs, not in fear, not in warning, in blessing. Its wings rustle, and it watches over the workshop, and the man, and the sleeping stories tucked into every shelf, and it watches over you, softly. Let your breath stay slow, like leaves drifting on a still lake. Let your limbs feel weightless, as if you've curled inside a feather. Everything outside this moment can wait. Here the world is ink, and every thought is a soft page turning. While Thalen sleeps, something moves gently in the space around him, not with footsteps, not with wind, but with memory, the kind of memory that belongs to the room itself. You see, this cellar is not just a place. It's a keeper, a memory. For centuries, it has held hands with dreamers, scribes, seekers, alchemists, and the stories too soft for waking hours. And now, it is holding you, not tightly, just enough, like the way a shawl wraps around your shoulders when you didn't realize you were cold. The fire has dimmed, its last amber coals glowing low and slow, like the last heartbeat before sleep fully arrives. But the golden ink still glows faintly in its sealed pot, not because of light, but because of promise. Promise that the stories will continue, that rest will deepen, that every quiet thought you forgot to listen to will be honored here. And then, a sound. Not loud, not sharp, just a tap. One single, gentle tap, like a finger brushing wood. It comes from the ceiling above Thalen's bed. Not a knock, not a warning, a greeting. You see, tucked between the stones of the old cellar roof is a carved pipe, long forgotten by most, running upward to a small brass bell in the apothecary's shop above. The bell only rings when another dreamer is nearby. And tonight, Someone has arrived. Alan stirs. Not startled, just returned. He sits up slowly, smoothing the blanket over his knees. His eyes still softened by sleep. The room is quiet, but something in the air feels ... curious. He rises, pulls a thick cloak from the wall, lined with fleece, smelling faintly of sage and ash, and drapes it over his shoulders. Then, without a word, he climbs the narrow staircase to the door at the back of the cellar. The handle is worn smooth by time, cool to the touch. He lifts the latch and steps into the apothecary. The shop above is small and round, with low wooden beams and shelves that curl like the inside of a seashell. Herbs hang in bundles. Marjoram, mugwort, valerian there, scent like a lullaby held in leaves. Bottles line the walls, each labeled in faded script. Dream salts, sleep dust, tincture of moon petal. Everything is still. Everything is waiting. And at the door, just stepping in from the snowy night, is a young girl. Wool cloak dusted in flakes, eyes wide with the kind of wondering that only comes when something unexplainable brings you here. She holds something wrapped in cloth, a letter. Old yellowed edges soft with age. She places it on the counter, then looks up at Fallon, as if asking, "Is this the right place for remembering?" Fallon nods, just once. Then he gently unwraps the cloth. Inside is a feather. Small, delicate, and unmistakably familiar. Barn owl. But not one of his. He looks at the letter. It is addressed not to a name, but to a feeling. To whoever still remembers the story I once dreamed but never wrote down. He lifts it. The paper trembles slightly in his hands, and deep within the cellar below, the golden ink hums again, softly. Can you feel it? The story? Waking? A story that's waited years, maybe centuries. A story written once in sleep, but lost before morning. Now, it has returned, and you, with your quiet breath and open heart, you are part of it too. You've heard its whisper in the rustle of owl feathers. You've felt its presence in the stillness between your thoughts. You are not just a listener. You are a keeper, a gentle guardian of the soft things that ask to be remembered. Fallon takes the letter and the feather and nods to the girl. She says nothing, only smiles, and steps backward into the snow, vanishing into the hush. He turns slowly, walks back down into the cellar, and as he descends the steps, the fire flares softly, welcoming him. Ready. He lays the letter beside the golden ink, the feather beside the others, and he whispers, "Let this one be written at last. Now, dear one, you may feel your own thoughts growing quiet, like candle flames flickering low. Let 'em go. You may feel the space behind your eyes growing warm, heavy, safe. Let yourself drift into that golden ink. Float in its memory. Let it write your dreams for you tonight. You've earned your rest. You are held. Inhale slowly, as if you're drawing in the scent of old paper and starlight. Exhale gently, as if you're blowing across the top of a sleeping teacup. Let go now. Of time, of weight, of needing to be anywhere else. Because here, in this deep, candlelit cellar, you are exactly where your dream wants you." Fallon returns to his writing stool. He doesn't sit just yet. He hovers for a moment, as if the air must settle before the next part begins. Then slowly, reverently, he unwraps the letter. Its edges crumble slightly, like snowflakes melting on fingertips. The parchment smells of lavender and dust, a scent of something once kept in a drawer for safekeeping, a scent of waiting. He smooths the page across the table. The ink is faded, but still legible, and though the handwriting is delicate, there's strength in it. This is what the letter says. Asterisk, asterisk. To the keeper of sleep. I had a dream once that I knew was more than a dream. I held it for years. I carried it like a feather in my coat pocket, but I never wrote it down. I feared it would vanish if I did. Now I am older, and the dream is slipping from me. but I remember how it made me feel. Like standing in golden fog, like listening to the stars hum. If there's a place that still remembers what I forgot, let it live there. Let it live with the quiet things. Asterisk, asterisk, Fallon sets the letter down, and in that moment, the owl feather beside it begins to glow. Not bright, not sharp, just softly, as if remembering. He lifts it again, dips it into the golden ink, and with that same hush that breathed through mossy woods and cloistered halls, he begins to write. But this time, he does not write in the dream ledger. No, he writes on the blank page tucked behind the letter, a page that has waited years to be filled. As he writes, the air thickens. Not heavy, time shifts again, like water swirling in a cup, and the cellar becomes something more. Now, it is a grove. You're there too, not watching. But part of it, a circle of standing stones, their surfaces carved in spirals and stars. The grass beneath you is warm, even though the sky above is twilight blue. And in your hand, a feather, the very same one Fallon holds. Except now it's yours, and something inside you begins to hum. A melody you didn't know you knew. In the dream, Fallon writes, a figure walks through the golden fog, barefoot, robes trailing in dew. It's the girl from earlier, but younger, or maybe older. Maybe she is you. She walks to a tree in the center of the grove, a tree that glows from within, its bark etched with stories, its roots humming like cello strings. She places her feather into a hollow in the bark, and as she does, a single leaf falls into her palm. It glows briefly, then disappears. The story is received. It is remembered now, forever, by the tree, by the grove, by the ink and the quill, and by the cellar where Fallon keeps watch. Back in the workshop, Fallon finishes the final curve of the final letter. The golden ink shimmers once like sunlight on calm water, and then dries. He sprinkles the page with ground sage, sealing the dream into the parchment, and he smiles. Not because the story is over, but because now it will never be lost again. He rolls the page carefully, ties it with a silver thread, and places it in the wooden dream box, beside the bundle of other unspoken thoughts now finally given voice. Each scroll inside that box, a sigh, a starlight, a memory, gently returned to the one who had left it behind. Softly, you may feel now a gentle heaviness behind your eyes, a quiet in your chest, like still water in a hidden well. Let it hold you. There is nothing you must do. The alchemist is here. The quill is ready. The dreams know your name, even the ones you forgot, especially those. Now, the cellar dims again. The fireside, the shelves go still, and Fallon returns to his cot. But this time, as he pulls the blanket over his chest, he tucks a new scroll beneath his pillow. Tonight, he will dream not for himself, but for you. He will wander through your golden fog. He will sit by your grove. He will whisper the names of the stories you never had time to tell. And when you wake, you may not remember the details, but you will remember how it felt. Warm, soft, whole, like a feather resting on your heart. Soft whisper, breathe in slowly, as if you're drawing air through silk. Let it fill your chest like warm lantern light. And now exhale, easy, as if you're letting go of something heavy you no longer need. You're safe here, safe in the cellar, safe in the dream. It is very late now, or very early, that strange part of night when the world is neither asleep nor awake, when even the shadows begin to rest. Fallon sleeps deeply now, his brow calm, his fingers still dusted faintly with gold. But across the room, near the farthest shelf, the one behind the curtain of dried bay leaves, a quiet sound begins. A shiver, a hum, the sound of a book waking up, not from being opened, but from being remembered. Behind the bay leaves rests a book rarely touched. It has no title, no spine, no leather binding. Instead, it is wrapped in woven cloth, dyed midnight, and stitched with silver thread. Each stitch is a symbol, not letters, but feelings. Calm, hope, grief, joy. It's the kind of book you don't read with your eyes, but with your heart. And tonight, it's calling for you. The book lifts just slightly and turns toward the golden ink. It does not open. Not yet. Books like this require permission. But something is stirring inside it. A story waiting for your voice. Not to speak it aloud, but to feel it, to drift through it, to make it part of your breath. And so, the book begins without pages. It begins inside your mind. The cellar deepens in silence. Time folds in, and a single beam of moonlight stretches down through a tiny crack in the stone, catching the surface of the golden ink, which gleams once, then goes still. The dream is sealed, for now. But if you listen, just beneath the hush, you'll hear something soft, a whisper, maybe from the feather drawer, from the old box of unwritten letters, from the place behind your ribs. It says, "We're not done yet," softly. Imagine a room so quiet, you can hear your own breath echo in the wooden beams. Imagine shadows that don't feel scary, only soft, only kind. You are in that room now, not outside of it, inside, part of it. You belong here. The cellar is still. The fire has gone to sleep, its coals faint but faithful, like stars beneath a blanket. Thalen is still lying on his cot, but his fingers twitch slightly. He's dreaming, and in his dream, he is no longer in the workshop. He is walking through a hallway that seems both endless and familiar. The floor beneath him is ancient wood, its planks whispering with each step, not creaking, whispering, as if they're sharing old secrets with the soles of his feet. Along the walls, there are paintings, not of people, not of places, but of moments. A warm hand placed on a shoulder, a feather falling through morning mist, forgotten but still warm, beside an open window. A cup of tea. Each painting glows just a little as he, not for show, but as a quiet hello, as if they remember him. And maybe, too, they remember you. At the end of the hallway, made of pale driftwood, its surface etched with tiny spirals, some straight, some broken, some curling in on themselves like sleeping cats. Thalen reaches for the handle. It's smooth, worn by many hands. Hands of people who once carried dreams they thought they had lost, and gently he pushes it open. Inside is a round room, filled wall to wall with scrolls, thousands of them. Some are rolled tightly, some are loose and fluttering slightly in a breeze that has no source. Each scroll is marked by a single word, not a title, a feeling. Words like forgiven, yearning, unspoken, still. Thalen walks between them, his fingertips brushing gently across the edges, not to disturb them, just to say, "I see you." He finds one scroll near the base of the wall. It is glowing faintly. The word on it says, "Yours." He kneels, lifts it gently, and begins to read. But what he sees inside isn't for him. It's for you. It's the dream you forgot the night before, your very first memory. Yes, that one. The moment right before your story began, when you were still made of mist and warmth and breath. The scroll contains no images, just a rhythm, a heartbeat, and a soft hum. It feels like your name being spoken by someone who's missed you. That hum begins to fill the round room. The scroll unrolls by itself, pages fluttering like bird wings. And Thalen just watches. He doesn't need to understand. He only needs to remember. That's his gift, and yours. Back in the cellar, the golden ink pulses once more. A final feather rises, not from the drawer, not from the desk, from the air itself. It hovers above the parchment, weightless, glowing faintly. And then, with the gentlest grace, it touches down. It writes a single symbol in the middle of the page. It then rests, still, softly, feel that warmth between your ribs, that softness behind your eyes. That's you, being remembered, not just by the story, by yourself. The part of you that you sometimes forget, the part that never forgets you. Let yourself breathe into that space. Let your shoulders drop. Let your thoughts float. Let your chest rise and fall with the same quiet rhythm as ink drying on a page. You are part of the scroll now. You are part of the feather. You are part of the cellar and the fire and the hush. Fallon wakes slowly, not with surprise, but with purpose. He opens his eyes, smiles softly, and says, "It's safe now." He doesn't explain what he means. He doesn't have to. Some things, once written, do not need to be spoken again. They live inside us, like gold in ink, like breath in sleep, like feathers that never fall. Pause to 6 seconds of imagined silence. The dream has grown full now, like a cup of warm milk, like a blanket pulled to your chin. And yet, the story isn't finished. Not yet. Soft whisper. Take one slow breath in, as if you're drawing the scent of crushed lavender from a warm stone floor. And now, let it go, as though you're blowing a soft breeze across the coals of a heart. You're floating now, safe, steady, inside the hush. Fallon has risen from his cot. His robe is still creased from sleep, his hair tousled gently by dream sweat and time. But his hands move with calm precision. He walks to the table, where the final feather has rested. It is no longer glowing. It no longer needs to, because the message it carried, the one that could not be spoken, has already been delivered to you, in your breath, in your heartbeat, in the weightless quiet you now feel wrapping around your limb. Fallon unrolls a new piece of parchment, this one thinner than the others, more delicate, and with that same steady reverence, he begins to write again. But this time, he writes your name, not your waking name, not the one others call you by, but the name that only the feather knows, the name given to your dreaming self the very first time you slept beneath stars. It's a name not made of letters, but of sound and shimmer and warmth. He writes it carefully, each stroke slow, like water tracing stone, and with each motion, the ink releases a little hum. Not from the page, but from within you. You may feel it now, a quiet pulse in your hands, a warmth behind your knees, a soft swirl of light between your temples. That's your name returning home to you. Let it arrive. Let it settle into your bones. You don't need to hold it tightly. It knows how to stay. Fallon finishes the final stroke, and just before the ink dries, he presses a finger gently into the page, right over your name. Not to smudge it, to seal it, like pressing wax onto a letter you've waited your whole life to send. The page hums once, then stills it as done. He places the parchment on a small wooden tube, smoothed with beeswax, etched with ivy pattern. Then he wraps it in blue linen, tucks it into the satchel by the cellar wall. That satchel is only used for one thing, carrying stories to the sky, not metaphorically, truly. You see, each year, on the night of the feather moon, at midnight, he releases the stories that were never meant to stay underground. The stories with wings. And tonight, yours will be among them. But for now, there is still time. The fire has fully gone out. Just a shimmer of heat left in the stones. And outside the cellar, snow is falling. Thick, gentle, endless. Each flake, a story being written that no one will read, but everyone will feel. And you are tucked inside it all. The cellar, the feather, the ink, the sleep. You are inside it all. And it is inside of you. Softly, breathe again. Just once more. Full, deep, slow. Let your body float. Let your mind slip, like parchment folding under its own weight. You are not leaving the story. You are the story. Above the cellar, the girl returns. The one with a letter. She is older now. Or maybe she never left. She walks quietly into the apothecary, her cloak wet from snow. She does not speak. She only smiles at the shelves and places a small bundle on the counter. Inside it, another feather. This one darker, soot-colored, heavy with meaning. She leaves it there. A gift, a promise, a beginning. Then she turns and melts back into the snow, leaving only the scent of pine and the silence of things yet to be written. Thalen will find the feather in the morning. He will know what it means. But for now, he returns to his cot, closes his eyes, and lets the story settle inside his chest, just as you are doing now. You may feel your breath has slowed, your eyelids heavier, your thoughts soft-edged and dream-thick. That's good. You're almost fully inside the sleep now. The deepest part, let it take you. Let it write you. You've earned it. The cellar holds still. The ink cools, and beneath the floorboards, a single feather lies in a hidden drawer, still warm from the last dream it carried, and it waits not to be used, not to be read, just to be with you while you sleep. Pause to 6 seconds of imagined silence. There is one last chapter, if you wish. The feather moon rises soon, and the satchel must be carried. Soft whisper. Inhale, as if you're breathing in stardust from the surface of the moon. And exhale, as if you're sending a message through the hush of the night air. You're not falling asleep anymore. You've already fallen. Now, you're floating. The satchel is ready. Its strap is worn from time, but strong. It creaks softly when Thalen lifts it over his shoulder. A sound like old wood stretching inside. Scrolls wrapped in linen. Your name written in golden ink. A story no one else will read, but everyone who dreams tonight will somehow feel. He steps through the apothecary. The door opens with a whisper, and cold air slips in like a lullaby in blue. Outside, the village sleeps, roofs heavy with snow, lanterns dim. Even the dogs do not bark tonight. Thalen walks slowly up the hill, the one behind the garden gate, past the frost-bitten herbs and the low stone wall. This path has been walked for centuries by other alchemists, by scribes, by dreamers like you. It only appears in full on the night of the feather moon, and tonight it glows. Each footstep on the snow makes no sound, not muffled, just absorbed, as if the world has agreed not to interrupt this moment. Thalen's breath curls in silver spirals around him. He does not hurry. This walk isn't about getting somewhere. It's about remembering what's already within you. He climbs higher, past old birch trees whose bark peels like curled parchment, past icicles dripping slowly, melting even in winter from the warmth of sleeping roots. At the top of the hill, there is a circle of stones, not grand, not towering, just placed by hands that came long before, hands that knew how to listen to the rhythm of dreams. In the center, a copper basin, gently tarnished by time. It is here that the scrolls are released, not burned, not buried. Released. Thalen opens the satchel, one by one. He unwraps the scrolls. They flutter faintly in the breeze, like they remember flying. Your scroll is last. The parchment still hums with your name, your rhythm. He cradles it, holds it to his chest for a moment, and with a breath full of love and night, he places it into the basin. The moment it touches the copper, the feather moon crests the ridge, round and soft, not glowing fiercely, just glowing enough, like an old friend showing up precisely when needed. Moonlight strikes the scroll, and it begins to lift. Not float, not fly, just lift, as if it's remembering how to rise. The parchment shimmers gold, then silver, then soft blue, the color of dreams that make no sense, but leave you smiling anyway. The scroll unwinds in the air, and in that quiet moment, every story it contains is whispered into the sky. No word spoken, no pages read, just released to the stars, to the hush, to the breath of the night. And then the scroll is gone. No ash, no remains, just warmth in the chest, just stillness on the hill, Just you, feeling lighter, softly. Let that feeling hold you. Let your body feel the hush of snow beneath it. Let your heart sway gently with the rhythm of a story set free. There's nothing more to do, nothing more to carry. The ink has dried. The feather has flown, and your name has joined the sky. You did it. Fallon stands alone, but not lonely. He closes the satchel, wipes a flake of snow from his collar, and with slow, sure steps, he begins to walk back down the hill. Behind him, the basin glows faintly, like a smile in the dark, and overhead, the stars pulse once, as if they heard your story, and said thank you. You are free now. Free to sleep deeply, free to float through dreams without needing to remember them. They remember you. You are held in parchment and moonlight, in ink and feather, in the hush between one breath and the next. Sleep now, not to escape, but to return to yourself, to the soft things, to the golden quiet within you. This is the end of our story, but not the end of the feeling. Let it stay with you, even as your mind lets go, even as your body falls into sleep, even as the world around you softens. You are the dream. You are the ink. You are the feather goodnight golden soul. The cellar will always wait for you. Until next time, soft whisper. Let your hands grow heavy. Let your jaw go soft. Let your breath flow like it's known how to rest for hundreds of years. You're not trying to fall asleep anymore. You already have. Now we simply make it beautiful. Back in the cellar, the fire has cooled completely. No crackling, no glow, just warmth held in the stones like a secret. The scrolls are gone. The satchel is tucked away. The golden ink has dried. The feathered drawer rests. All is still. And yet, something lingers, a gentle pulse in the air, like a heart still beating long after the music has faded. This isn't magic. It's memory. The cellar remembers. The quill remembers. The dream remembers you. And in this final hush, you remember yourself. Not as you were today. Not as the world sees you, but as the dream knows you. Golden-threaded, soft-hearted, feather-held. There's a sense now, not of ending, but of opening, as though a door inside your chest has unlocked without needing a key. Through it flows warmth, stillness, the certainty that you are safe. You are always safe in stories that speak softly. Let these final thoughts be little stones in your dreaming pocket. Let them warm you as you drift. You are allowed to rest. You do not need to be worthy of peace. The quiet knows your name. The stories you carry unfinished, uncertain, are still sacred. You are held by more than memory. You are held by the telling. Now picture a single feather, floating in the dark, not falling, just suspended, timeless. That feather is you. No rush, no noise, no need to prove or fix. You simply are, weightless, whole, dreaming. Outside, snow continues to fall, soft, endless flakes, each one a lullaby. Too small to speak aloud, they melt on windows, on rooftops, on dreams, half forgotten, and they do not ask to be seen. They do not need praise. They just fall, and become part of the quiet. So can you. Let your body do what the snow knows how to do. Fall slowly, settle softly, disappear into something deeper. No edge, no effort, just a soft hush of nowhere else to be. Fallon dreams again, not of stories, not of scrolls, not even of ink or feathers. He dreams of warmth, of 2 cups of tea steaming beside a window, one untouched, one half finished, no one in sight. And yet, the moment is complete, because the dream was never about doing. It was about being, like you are now, right now, just being, softly. If a thought comes, let it pass like a candle's smoke. If a memory drifts in, watch it sail by like a lantern in fog. There is no need to hold, no need to follow, only to rest. The cellar, the ink, the golden scrolls. They're part of you now, woven through your sleeping mind, like soft thread in an old blanket. They'll be there tomorrow, and the next night, and the one after that, whenever you need a place to fall into. And now, just the sound of your own breath, the weight of your limbs, the stillness of everything you've released. There's nothing more to hear, nothing more to say, only to sleep and to trust that the feather remains. Always. Good night, dreamer. You are golden. You are whole. You are home. The story is asleep now, and so are you.